I'm Ryan and you guys are watching RC Fun and Games again, and today we're going to be doing 2 more upgrades to the Traxxas Trx4M Bronco. We're going to be installing the aluminum shocks from Injora, and we're also going to be testing their flex blades out. I'm quite intrigued. I've never tried anything like this on any of my RCs, so I want to see how this is going to change the articulation and everything else on the vehicle. Try these out, guys. So let's get this packet open and see what's inside. Now let's have a closer look at these. So we get 2 sets of springs, the springs that are on the shocks plus some harder springs over here. Get those. Looks like we get a bushing, a couple of O-rings to fit. Yeah. Now let's see, do they actually come with oil in them, guys? Let's see. Out. Now they do look good. Can't complain about the look of them, guys. Let's put some light on this. Sorry, guys. They look very nice. I can't say much. Now let's squeeze one. Now, guys, I'm going to use the 20 WT oil that they recommend. I'm going to put and fill it up just like they say, and we'll see how it works out, guys. Okay, guys, I've filled it. Now, our little bladders in here and stuff, we're going to tighten it back down. Okay, guys, it feels nice and smooth. There's no negative or positive pressure. That's just the bladder we're hitting at the end, which pushes it back out, but besides that, it seems nice and correct. Let's throw our spring back on. We're gonna get the rest of the things and assemble the actual shock. There's a difference between the two, guys. You've got the one that doesn't have like a hat, and this one's got like a little hat on the top. So this is for the top of the shock and the other one's for the bottom. Okay, they come nicely individually packed, all made out of aluminium, guys. And they also give all the screws, which for some reason, instead of them giving these in stainless steel, they've given them in black. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, anyway, as you guys can see, they are marked where they go. Rear left. I don't know what the 2L stand for. Rear lower left. Let's just check the other packet. Let's open those up. Find it. Yeah, so that's what it stands for. Okay, so rear upper right, and I'm guessing this is rear lower left. Okay, guys, look, I've done a little bit of trial here without the camera because at the end of the day, these flex blades are not meant to be on the LCG chassis, and they are meant to be on the original shock towers. So I'm trying to make them work on so I'm not expecting it to be easy. At the bottom it all works fine. Over here I've had to curve it down so that the shock can actually fold in, or else if I have this sitting where they have it, it doesn't work out. So like this, I'm getting way more stretch and it articulates really nicely. There's no problem, doesn't get stuck or anything, and it goes all the way. I can adjust it a bit more but I'm gonna have to tighten. I might have to put a screw in one of the holes up here to prevent it from coming up in case you bump something. So that will definitely have to be addressed. But for now, I do think that's gonna work. So I'm gonna assemble the other side so we can check it out, and then we're gonna take it for a little test, and we'll see how it performs. So anyway, as you guys can see, I've had to use the spacers that I have on the other shocks that came with the LCG chassis. I've had to use that to put behind the blade, or else the shock actually catches on the chassis, guys. So it's been a bit of a complication to get it on, but I'm going to try and replicate it on camera on this side so you guys can see exactly how I've done it. So I'm just going to take this wheel off, and then we're going to strip it, and I'm going to show you guys how I did the other side. The screw is also going to be used because I can't use the screws that they send, guys, because they're too short. These are shorter than the one that comes with the LCG chassis. Let's see if I can show you guys. Okay guys, as you can see, it's definitely increased the articulation. If you compare it to the front, it doesn't articulate hardly anything, guys. Now the back, on the other hand, goes a long way, guys. Yeah, that's pretty insane. So anyway, get the front ones off. Let's see if we can get them fitted to this LCG chassis and see how it goes, guys. So let me get stuck right in. Let's get these wheels off. Okay guys, now I am ready. I'm gonna throw the blade on the chassis, guys. So just gonna throw that through. Don't forget the bushing that came with the LCG chassis, or else okay, now we're gonna move on to this side, guys, and then we'll worry about the bumper mount and stuff to be able to clear it. So let's get on with this next piece. Guys, I'm using the back hole on the 2 holes that come on the flex blade, because if we use the front one, it's going to catch the steering arm, okay? So I'm just going to fit it over there. Still going to have to shorten these screws on the side here on the bumper. They're still going to have to be shortened, so I'm going to look for something shorter, and I'm just going to carve a little bit away so it gives a good articulation without catching on anything. Okay guys, I don't know if you can see that good on camera. Basically, these little triangles here catch on the servo when it's flexing. So I'm just going to carve a little bit of that away, and I'm going to take about 1 millimeter all the way across, just to make sure it clears that servo. I removed quite a bit all along the edge here, all the way around. And when I put it here, it clears it comfortably. So I'm going to leave it like this. I want to try and find 2 shorter screws to put in. And then we can take it outside for a test quickly, guys. So let me crack on and find some screws. Now, let's just throw this body on roughly, just to see. Guys, something I did not mention in the last few videos, which I'm going to have to mention now. So, since I did the LCG chassis, this unit here catches on everything. Okay, so the easiest thing to do is just cut it right off, I'm assuming. They say grind the chassis. If I cut it here, this is still held fine. So I'm just going to cut this section out, and it should make all the difference. Now, let me see if this works any better, guys. Oh yes, oh yes. So that's all you've got to do to get the LCG chassis to fit on here, guys. Just cut out this section here, and then you haven't got the problem of it popping off every 5 seconds. But look at the droop on that, guys. Let me just... Guys, it looks so weird like that. But yeah, it works. And now, at least, the front wheels aren't catching all the time. So it's just these back wheels. Yeah, I might have to trim the bumper. I did trim the bumper on the other side in the front, and I still do it on this side, because when the wheels are turned, it's still gonna catch. Just put it in the right position, right there, like that. It's gonna catch, so I'm gonna trim that off as well. And then I'm gonna trim these back pieces off. As much as I don't want to, they're gonna have to go. Okay guys, after lots of messing around with it, after a lot of messing around with it, it's a bit better. But you know what, guys, you definitely lose. Okay guys, I'm all done setting it up. I ended up putting a little bit of a thicker oil into the shocks that I had lying around from Tamiya. Okay. Besides that, I've put the heavier duty springs on the back shocks, because it was just flopping. Besides that, we definitely lost a couple of degrees on climbing angle. It doesn't want to perform as well. So I've tried to set it up as good as I can. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm going to take these flex blades on top off, because I don't see the point of them. It's given too much of an angle, and yeah, it droops too much, which causes a big angle on the drive shafts at the bottom. So it starts causing binding. So you know what, guys, it's no point having that kind of droop like that. It's just too much. Yes, it definitely helped climbing over obstacles because of the droop, so now you can get traction. But when it comes to climbs, it definitely lost a lot of performance. So I'm gonna play with it. I'm gonna go and do a video so you guys can see how it performs exactly like this with all the flex blades fitted. And I do believe I'm gonna take all these off on top, and I'm just gonna fit the shock straight back to the chassis. I'll leave the flex blades at the bottom, but I think that will take away that super droop, and it will probably still give it a better climbing capability again. So let's just get out, let's go and give it a little test so you guys can see how it performs now. I've also had to trim a lot off the bumpers and everything to clear, because now it articulates like crazy. So definitely had to do a lot of things I don't like to do to my vehicles, but you know what? I do want a bit more articulation. I just don't want to lose my climbing capabilities, and I really have lost a lot of climbing capabilities, guys. So take that in consideration. The vehicle could do everything it can do now with the flex blades, but it could climb now with the flex blades. Yes, you got better articulation, you can get over higher stones and everything, but it is causing it to roll a lot more. It's definitely not as nice as what it was. So personally, I'm not a big fan of the flex blades. I'm gonna change the shock positions like I've mentioned, get rid of the top blades, and I'll see how that performs, but that's for another video, guys. So let me get out, let me go and do a quick little test run with it out on the mountain in the back here, guys, and you guys take your own opinion on it and see what you think of it. You can compare it to the last running videos and you can see if it's worse or better. Okay, guys? It's definitely got insane amounts of flex, guys. As you guys can see, it can still take some steep angles, but it's stretching out all the suspension, guys, which of course is making it want to roll backwards, guys. But the flex is amazing. Let's just check how it performs on the downhill. This is about 45 to 50 degrees, guys. Plenty of control, I love it. It's coming out really good, that is. Now, let's climb the same hill again. Okay guys, now let's climb this same 45 to 50 degree hill. As you guys can see, the front suspension is completely pulled out. The back is leaning one way. And it's struggling. It's losing traction in the front. Nah guys, this is definitely performing a lot worse on steep climbs than what it did before. It keeps wanting to lift the front wheel. Yeah, it's not great, guys. Nope. Now guys, if you guys can see this, look at that. It's just pulling up the suspension completely and making it virtually impossible to climb this kind of angle. So to me, if you guys are running on a lot of flat and you want articulation, yes. But if you guys like climbing up things, I don't think the flex blades are the way to go, guys. That's my genuine opinion. I'm going to change the top flex blades positions. I'm going to take them away and I'm just going to fit the shocks back to the chassis. I think that will definitely improve because it will reduce the droop. But the way it's set up right now, it's only good for flat groundwork with big obstacles that it needs the flex. But for climbing, guys, this is pointless. It has really destroyed the performance of the car. Give it some gas and go, go, go. No, there it goes again. Or it goes one way or the other way, guys. It just won't make it up the hill. Yeah, and this is the easiest hill I've got here, guys. Okay guys, just gonna quickly test it on this ledge as well. Let's just see how it performs here. Nicely up there, no problem. And of course, when we get to the second one, guys, once again, the same problem. You got all that flex and all the suspension does is pull out and cause it to roll, okay guys? So, you know what? Our original setup was a lot better than using flex blades, and I don't see the purpose of them. Only if you're rock rolling on flat surfaces, then maybe it's beneficial. But the way it is right now, there's no benefit to this. As soon as you start climbing, it basically pushes the front axle out like that, or shall I say the back axle out, and the front one droops, so it loses reach, it loses everything, and then it just wants to roll over. So yeah, it's not been great. I will definitely say it's not been great, but if you like flex, guys, it definitely did something amazing to the flex. Let me just throw some of these tires on here. So 2, no problem. 3, no problem. You guys can see the back wheel is still touching, and that's what we get now in flex. You can almost run the axle sideways. And if we compare it to basically the stock setup still, this is not stock, but the shocks and everything else, all the positions and everything are still stock. So as you guys can see there, that one does that. So as you guys can see, on this one you get 2 tires, on the new one you can basically get 4. Okay, it is a huge difference, guys. It's a huge difference on flex over the original setup. But yeah, and don't forget that this one has got the original chassis, original shocks. The only thing is it's got lots of parts now. The aluminum axles, brass pieces, hex extenders, extended axle shafts, high clearance links. Yeah, it's got basically everything that one's got. It just hasn't got the LCG chassis, the Injora shocks, and of course the flex blades. And that's the difference between the flexing on the vehicles, guys. It can't even do the simplest hills in my course anymore, guys. So to me, it's not a mod I want on mine. I'll be removing them and I won't be using them. But I do like the shocks that we put in from Injora, guys. So if you're looking for shocks, go for it. These are awesome. They hold oil. They haven't leaked yet, guys. So you know what? I'm impressed with that. But the flex blades, maybe with the original chassis, we'll try them on the Defender and we'll see what happens there with the original chassis before I change the chassis to the LCG chassis. But I don't think it's going to be any beneficial. I think it's going to make the same issues that it has on this chassis. It's all going to be the same thing. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't my most professional video and I'm still learning how to make these videos, guys. So please bear with me. If there's anything I'm not covering or if there's something you guys want to know, please feel free to ask in the comments, guys. Because, you know, I can only learn from you guys and I'm hoping you guys can learn from me. So at the end of the day, that's why we all do this, right, guys? Anyway, I'll catch you guys all on the next one. I wanted to give you guys a running video of it, but you know what, guys? I've had enough messing around with it. I'm going to call this video quits, and that's it for me, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this one, guys, and I'll catch you all on the next one, man. Thanks for joining me.